Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we have a fantastic show for you today. Guys, this video exists because of a fantastic subscriber by the name of Jonathan Mib'S. I'm gonna make sure I got that last name right. Jonathan Mib'S, a longtime subscriber to our channel, was watching one of our videos, and he brought up a very interesting topic, subject, if you will. Toy shaming. Toy shaming. That's right, guys. Toy shaming. That's a subject, that's a situation, that's an issue that has touched every collector, especially over the age of 25. And you say, M.I.B, why over 25? Because people that don't collect toys simply cannot understand or comprehend why adults collect toys. And we've heard everything from why are you collecting toys, and are you playing with those toys? Those toys aren't for you. Oh my God. Jonathan had a great point where he ran into, he was in a store picking up some action figures, and one of his co-workers saw him in there and immediately shamed him, toy shamed him. Dude, are those for you? Oh, wait until the rest of the guys at work hears about this and you are playing with toys. Guys, it sounds silly, but it is a serious situation. Because toy shaming is no different than body shaming, than any other prejudice that exists out there. And like my Guyper man, this is from the Webster's Dictionary. Shame, a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. You know, he could have threw ignorant in there as well. But guys, it exists. It really exists. I have been touched by toy shaming to some degree. Guys, you don't collect nearly 30 years and not hear the whispers or not hear the lighthearted jokes that are really serious. You know, they're meant to hurt. I was always curious what my wife thought about my collecting before she met me, because I had a nice collection before I met my wife, and I've been married to my wife for nearly 14 years. But I always asked her, I was curious when I was doing research for this production, this video. And I said, well, what did you think about me when you first saw my collection of action figures and G.I. Joes? And she, her honest opinion, she was like, well, they were all in boxes So she's like, I automatically knew you were probably just a collector. So it didn't bother me as much. I said, really? I said, what if they were out of the box and just laying around? And she laughed and she's like, okay, I probably would have looked at you a different way. She's like, but I can't really say because I really liked you. So I said, okay, I can't use her because she said she really liked me. 14 years later, guys, I guess she was telling the truth, right? But perception. Guys, we want your opinion on toy shaming. Why does it happen? How do you feel when you are toy shamed by friends, family, loved ones, whomever? I remember back in the early 90s, I was purchasing this particular G.I. Joe from Walmart, this G.I. Joe Adventure Team. And there was a young lady at the cash register. And it's always a crossroads with me, you know, because some guys, it's not that I'm ashamed of collecting toys, being an adult. You just don't want to deal with the looks, the stares, the questions, and I was in a rush. But this particular day, I could care less. And I was standing in line. I had this G.I. Joe, and she's like, oh, this is a fantastic toy. Look at this. She's like, wow, this is really cool. She's like, boy, your son's really going to like this. And I said, well, no, this is not for my son. This is not for my son. This is for me. And the smile on her face kind of went into a puzzled look. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, well, it's a nice thing. And then she rang me up and gave me my total, and I paid her, and I left. But I left there always wondering, what did she think? What was going on in her mind? Oh, this guy is crazy. He plays with action figures. What is he going to do? Take it home and open the box and play with this toy? And guys, that's toy shaming. I know another guy that can't call him a friend. We'll call him an acquaintance. Somebody I just know, but his take is that, after 12 or 13 years old, really shouldn't be playing with toys. He puts collectors in their own compartment, if you will, little zone. And I'm sure he's not the only one. Grown men, grown women collecting Barbie dolls and G.I. Joes and Migos and space toys, you name it. We are truly looked upon as collectors in a whole different light. And we're not compared to coin collectors, stamp collectors. These collectors are congratulated for their collections. Sneakerheads, big sneaker collections. The first Air Jordans and all these other really cool sneakers. That's looked at as being super cool. No matter how old or how young you are. If you have a sneaker collection, that's looked at as being cool. But if you're a middle-aged man and you have these toys, or as the guy I was referencing earlier, He calls them dolls. He said, man, I don't know anybody. Why would a 30-year-old man or a 40-year-old man or a 50-year-old man or woman, for that fact, would want to have all these dolls? What type of mindset is that? Guys, these are the questions that we throw out today in this video, in this town hall meeting, if you will, here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I can't help myself, guys. I literally can't, and I'm talking about myself right now. I can't help myself. I've explained this a million times to people that know about my channel or know about my collection. I explain this, and I explain it with the same joy and excitement that has always existed in me ever since I was 4 years old and I got my first Lone Ranger action figure. I explain it the same way. I tell them, guys, I don't know. It's something about action figures that I just think is super cool. The way they look, the clothing, the style, the character. I've always had a connection. And I always knew I wanted to collect these guys. In some cases, because I couldn't afford them when I was a kid. My family, you know, we weren't very well off. So I couldn't afford G.I. Joe. We could afford a few Migos because they weren't as, and God bless Marty Abrams, because they're still, to this day, they're not very expensive. So being a poor kid, growing up, I was able to partake in Migo action figures, which ignited and further fanned the flames as a collector inside of me. That passion exists in all of us as collectors. And guys, this is not a knock on any other type of collecting. You know, stamps, sneakers, coins. Those are all fantastic, you know, collectibles. I have no issues with these, because I don't want people getting out, well, M.I.B, it'd be on the front page news. M.I.B has issues with stamp collectors and sneakerheads and coin collectors. I don't want these guys knocking down my door. I only can tell you how I feel and what is going through me as a collector. But yes, you know, I've been toy shamed before, and it's wrong. It's wrong to shame anybody for anything, but our subject today is the toy shame, the painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. And somebody understands what they're doing, what they're saying, and they're doing it and saying it anyway. Jealousy? Envy? We don't know. I'll let you guys decide that. I just know that it got to a point where I just really didn't care what people thought about me. Now that a lot of people know about my collection, they know about my channel. So I don't get too many weird looks or stupid questions, as I call them. Well, what are you going to do with all of those toys? You know, I referred one time talking to a coworker. I referred to my action figures as a part of the family, and they looked at me like I was crazy. They are. They're a part of my family. Some of these items, some of these action figures has been with me for 20 or 20 plus years. Some of them. And now I have family members that cater to my collecting needs. I have good friends at work that if they're out of town or they're out of the country on a trip or vacation, they'll call me and ask me, do I have this particular figure? What figures am I looking for? So it's cool. Case in point, this G.I. Joe Adventure Team. This is from a coworker, a really cool coworker that bought this for me in Target way back. I think it was in 2002, 2003. We don't need people to accept our toy collecting, our hobby. We don't even need people to understand it, because guys, if you're waiting for some people to understand what we do and why we do it, you're going to miss out on a lot of enjoyment with your collection and your collectibles. Toy shaming, guys. Have you done it? Has it been done to you? We want to hear all of that. Right underneath this video in our comment section. What's the worst toy shaming incident that you can remember ever happening to you? Leave that in a comment section right underneath this video. The worst toy shaming incident that ever happened to you. Jonathan Villabus, our subscriber, and really author of this video, we want to thank him for really bringing this subject, which has been really avoided and a very touchy subject, but we want to thank Jonathan for bringing this to the forefront here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. And if we could use our channel, our museum, as a vehicle to enlighten and educate and just make aware, we're all for it. Guys, want to thank you for hanging out with us, guys, today, dealing with this, tackling this subject, toy shaming. There's so much we can learn from it and from ourselves and from the people, the very people that toy shame us. To the people that ask the stupid questions, why do you collect dolls? Do you play with the dolls? You put them in a separate category, guys. People that will never understand what makes them happy. Because to take a shot at something that makes another person happy, you can't be happy yourself. So we pray for those guys. But we shouldn't have to lie and you know, like Jonathan said, he got caught up one time and said, well, you know, it's for my kid. You know, it's for my nephew. The toys for my nephew. He told his work buddy. And it said that we have to do that. You know, we shouldn't have to do that. The toys for me. The G.I. Joe Adventure Team Secret of the Mummy's Tomb is for me. No, I don't open them up. I collect them. People want to tell us to grow up. Hey, that's fine. Guys, we're going to grow up our way. We're going to grow up the way we want to grow up. We're going to keep having fun. We're going to keep collecting, guys. We're going to keep making videos here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. We're going to keep bringing you cutting-edge action figures, cutting-edge videos, on-location videos, breaking news videos, the works. Here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum, guys, this is a place where we can relive all of the beauties and joys of our childhood. We never have to grow up here at the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. Thank you. Have a blessed night, guys. You know the routine. And by all means, keep collecting.